Good morning, students. This session is for class 12th. Students, we are studying chapter 4, and yesterday we have completed topic cyclotron. Let's revise this topic quickly, and then we will start the next topic, that is Biot-Savart's law. Okay, so students, cyclotron is a machine. It is used to accelerate charged particles. You can see here charged particles like ions, and it was invented by E.O. Lawrence and M.S. Livingston in 1934. And the purpose of this invention is to understand the nuclear structure. Okay, nuclear structure. This was the purpose of development of this machine known as cyclotron. Okay, now if we see about the structure, or you can see here, this is the picture, schematic sketch of cyclotron. In this you can see here, these two are hollow metallic semicircular shaped, and in this part means these are known as D1 and D2 because their shape are like D. Okay, so you can see this shape is like D, so this one is known as D1 or D. Similarly, this one is also have shape like D, so this one considered as D2. These two together known as D's. Any one of them can taken as D1, and second one is D2. This is the oscillator. It is used to produce electric field to this machine, and you can see here the magnetic field which is perpendicular to the plane of paper, represented by the dots. Okay, the most important point about cyclotron is there is no electric field present inside the D's, because D's are made by conductors or metals, you can say, and inside metals there is no electric field, means electric field does not exist inside the conductors. So in this region and this region there is no electric field, so this electric field exists only in this region, in this part. This is the gap between these two D's, and if this potential difference is V, then charged particle gain energy when it travel from one D to another D. It gain energy charge into potential difference. Okay, so after each time when it crosses the gap, they will gain energy, and energy is given by Q into V. Okay, so this one is the most important point about cyclotron. The maximum possible radius of the charged particle inside this cyclotron is equal to the radius of any one of the D's. So if radius of D is capital R, so you can write this V is equal to QB capital R upon M. You can see in equation number 4.9. And the kinetic energy of these charged particles, I am talking about the maximum kinetic energy. So maximum kinetic energy will be when radius becomes maximum. So you can see here, this one is the maximum kinetic energy of this charged particle. With this kinetic energy, it will strike with the target. You can see here the exit point. So target is placed here. After collision of the charged particle with the target, and there will be some observations by which we can understand the structure of nuclear of this target. Okay, so this is the purpose and aim to invention of this machine known as cyclotron. Okay, there is another important point, that is known as the resonance condition. You can see here the resonance condition. So if the frequency of the charged particle and the frequency of this variable electric field is equal, then this is known as the resonance condition of the cyclotron. Okay, so if there is question what is meaning of resonance condition of cyclotron, you can give this answer. Now we are going to solve this question given in example 4.4. You can see here example 4.4. So let's solve this question. A cyclotron's oscillator frequency is 10 megahertz. What should be the operating magnetic field for accelerating protons if the radius of its d is 60 centimeter? And what is the kinetic energy in million electron volt of the proton beam produced by the accelerator? And the given things are the charge, then mass of the proton, you can see here, and this is the energy. 1 million electron volt, you can write in to the joules, this one is in joule. So you want to find out, you can see here, what should be the operating magnetic field for accelerating protons. So we need to find out magnetic field. Okay, so let's solve this question. The oscillator frequency should be same as protons cyclotron frequency. This is the condition for working of a cyclotron. It means this is resonance condition. In this condition, the frequency of oscillator must be equal to the same as the proton. So in this case, you can write B is equal to 2 pi m v by q. Okay, you can see here. So B is equal to 2 pi m. Since this is given by, since you know that this omega is equal to what? Omega is equal to qb upon m. Since we know that omega is equal to qb upon m. Okay, qb upon m. Now this omega is equal to 2 pi into frequency. 2 pi into, let's write f. So if you rearrange this equation, B is equal to 2 pi f m upon q. So you can write 2 pi m into this one is the frequency upon q. So now let us put the values, that is 2 pi is equal to this one. You can write the value of 2 pi, or you can write 2 into 3.14. Okay. Then the value of mass, that is 1.67. And the frequency is given 10 megahertz. 10 megahertz means 10 to the power 7 hertz. 1 megahertz means 10 to the power 6. Okay, so here is 10 megahertz, it means 10 to the power 7, and divided by the charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So after solving or after calculation, you will get the magnetic field, that is 0.66 Tesla. Okay, this one is the value of the applied magnetic field. Now the final velocity of proton is given by, if you want to write the final velocity, then you can write V is equal to R into omega. We know that if we know omega and radius of the charged particle, we can find out the linear velocity. So V is equal to R into omega, where R is this is given. You can see radius 60 centimeter. So this in meter 0.6, then 2 pi nu, the value of 2 pi is this 6.3, and nu is 10 to the power 7. It is given in the question, that is 10 megahertz. So after solving this, you will get the velocity, that is 3.78 into 10 to the power 7 meter per second. Students, you can compare this velocity with the velocity of light. Okay, this is very interesting. you can compare this velocity with velocity of light. So the charged particle moving in this cyclotron, they have very high velocity, they are very close to the speed of light. Then kinetic energy of these particles, so kinetic energy is given by half mv square. Since we know the value of velocity and mass is given here, so you can solve, you can calculate this part also. Okay, so after solution you will get 7 million electron volt in terms of million electron volt. The direct calculation will give you in joules. If you calculate this part, you can see here this part converted this result into MeV. Okay, so that this is divide. If you don't divide by this part, then your answer, this part is also your correct answer and it will be in joule. So this part in joule. If you want to find out the value in million electron volt, you should divide this result by 2 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 13. Okay, so I hope you understand. This 2 is from this half. Okay, so 1 by 2 is here, this 2 is here. So I hope you understand this question. Okay, now accelerators in India. You can read this paragraph about accelerators which are available in India. So you can see here, India has been an early entrant in the area of accelerator based research. The vision of Dr. Meghnad Saha created a 37 cyclotron in Saha Institute of Nuclear Physics in Kolkata in 1953. This was soon followed by the series of Cracroft-Walton type of accelerators stabilized in Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. This is present in Mumbai. Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh Bose Institute, Kolkata, and Andhra University, Voltaire. The 60s saw the commissioning of number of Van de Graaff accelerators, 5.5 MV terminal machine in Bhabha Atomic Research Center, BARC. This is also in Mumbai in 1963. So you can read this paragraph and you will get the information about the accelerators program in India. Okay, now we are going to understand our next topic, and that is magnetic field due to current element, or it is known as Biot-Savart law. So our next topic is magnetic field due to current element. Current element means the small portion of a current carrying wire, and Biot-Savart law. This law was given by these Bio and Savart. So this is known as Biot-Savart law. So in this picture you can see this one is a current carrying wire. I hope it is visible. You can see here this is a wire, this one is a current carrying wire. Suppose this part is taken as the current element. This is very small part and its length is dl. So let us find out the value of magnetic field at this point P at distance r from this element. Okay, so according to the experiment, if current is flowing through the wire, there is magnetic field around the wire. Okay, so according to that experiment, and it is experimentally proved, we need to find out the magnitude of the value of the magnetic field, and because magnetic field is a vector quantity, so we also need to find out its direction. Okay, so in this part or in this topic we will discuss the magnitude and direction of magnetic field at a point produced by current carrying wire, or you can say produced by very small element of current carrying wire. Okay, so let's see here. All magnetic fields that we know are due to the currents or moving charge. Current means moving charge, or you can say charges moving with uniform velocity or variable velocity are responsible for the current. So if we use term current, it means we are talking about the moving charge. Okay, so you can see here all magnetic fields that we know are due to currents or moving charges and due to intrinsic magnetic moment of the particles. Here we shall study the relation between current and the magnetic field it produces. Okay, it is given by Biot-Savart's law in figure 4.9. Shows a finite conductor XY carrying current I. Consider an infinite small element dl of conductor. So we are taking here this dl, it is very small. Okay, the magnetic field dB, magnetic field is taken as dB because it is due to the very small element dl. Due to this element is to be determined at point P, which is at a distance r from it. Let theta be the angle between dl and the displacement vector r. Then according to the Biot-Savart law, the magnitude of magnetic field dB is proportional to the current I in length element dl and inversely proportional to the square of the distance r. So its direction we will discuss later, but we can write dB is proportional to I, that is current flowing this wire, dl the length of the small element, then r. This r is the unit vector to represent the direction of the magnetic field upon r cube. But since we know that this r can be written like this, magnitude into unit vector. So if you replace this r, this is the displacement vector. Okay, this one is displacement vector. If you replace this r by this value, r into unit vector, so you will get dB is proportional to I dl unit vector r upon r square. Okay, but this equation is in terms of displacement vector. So let's see this diagram. You can see in this diagram there is a wire and I is the current flowing through this wire. Okay, since this wire is in form of curve here, so experiment shows that the magnetic field at this point is depends upon the following factor. First one is the current flowing in this wire, and this dB is proportional to this current. Then again this dB is depends upon the length of this element, and also it is proportional to this dl. So you can see here this dB is proportional to I into dl. Now this B is proportional to the angle between this element dl and the line joining the point P from this element. So you can see here, as this is the curve, to find the angle between this line and this element we must draw tangent at this point. So you can see the tangent by dotted lines. Then this one is the angle between the element dl and this point P, sorry, the line joining point P and this element dl. Okay, so this one is the angle. Okay, angle theta. So this angle is taken in the direction of the flow of current. You cannot take in this direction. Okay, because this is opposite to the flow of current. So current is flowing in this direction, so you must take the angle in the similar direction. Okay, so you can write this dB is proportional to I, then dl sine theta So experiment shows that this dB is proportional to the sine of the angle between the DL and the line joining this DL to point P. So you can write dB is proportional to I DL sine theta, and it is again proportional to 1 by r square, that is where r is distance of this point DL, where r is distance between element DL and the point P. So you can write here r square. Okay, now the same equation can be written like I dl cross r. You can see here dl cross r will give you dl sin theta if r vector. Okay, so you can write in terms of displacement vector here, since you can see here sin theta, so the same equation is written here in form of cross product. You can see here. Okay, so this one is the Biot-Savart law, and this gives, this part is a constant of proportionality. So where mu by 4 pi is a constant of proportionality, and the above expression holds when the medium is vacuum. So this relation is true when there is vacuum. It means the current is flowing in a wire which is placed in vacuum. The magnitude of this field is given by, so if you take this equation in form of the magnitude, or you represent this equation in form of magnitude, you will get dB is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sin theta by r square. You can see this one. This one is the equation in scalar form, or it is the magnitude of this magnetic field at point P. It is represented by equation 4.11b. Okay, the same equation can be represented in vector form by this equation. You can write this dl like dl cross r, where r is displacement vector. So since r is equal to r with magnitude of this vector into r cap, so here will be r cube. Okay, if you replace this r by r into r unit vector or r cap, so one r is cancelled and you will get I dl cross unit vector upon r square. So you can write in terms of displacement vector or in terms of unit vector, but this equation is in terms of displacement vector. Okay, where we have used property of cross product, equation 4.11a constitutes our basic equation for magnetic field. The proportionality constant in SI unit has the exact value. So the value of this proportionality constant is given here, and that is 10 to the power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. This one is very interesting result, and it will help you to define the value of 1 ampere current. Okay, so must remember this part, because these type of constants will help you to solve the numerical problems. Okay, so must remember the value of mu naught upon 4 pi, that is equal to 10 to the power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. We call this mu naught, this is mu naught, and this is known as the permeability of free space or vacuum. So this mu naught is known as permeability, and value of this mu naught you can find out from this equation. So mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. So this is known as the permeability of free space or permeability of vacuum. So this is the characteristic of medium which allow to magnetic field in a medium. This is known as permeability. Okay, so let's see the next. The Biot-Savart law for magnetic field has certain similarity as well as difference with the Coulomb's law for electrostatic field. Some of these are, so now we are going to understand the similarities between Biot-Savart law for magnetism and the Coulomb's law of electrostatics. So you can see the first similarity, both are long range. So these two are long range. Then since both depends inversely on the square of the distance from the source to the point of interest, in both, this says that in both of the cases, in case of electric field is proportional to 1 by r square, where magnetic field is proportional to again 1 by r square. And the principle of superposition apply to both the field. Both field follow the law of principle of superposition. Then in this connection, note that the magnetic field is linear in the source ideal, just as the electrostatic field is linear in its source, the electric charge. So in this case, it means in case of electric field, the role of charge similar role plays by ideal in case of the magnetic field in Biot-Savart law. Okay, the electrostatic field is produced by the scalar source, namely the electric charge. The magnetic field is produced by the vector source, that is ideal. So you can see here, this one is, you can see the difference but similarity. It is also similar but difference in vector and scalar. You can see here, the electrostatic field is produced by the scalar source, and that is charge, whereas the magnetic field is produced by the vector source, that is IDL. Okay, the sense of dl cross r is also given by the right hand screw rule. Look at the plane containing vector dl and r. Imagine moving from the first vector toward the second vector. If the movement is anti-clockwise, the resultant is towards you, and if it is clockwise, the resultant is away from you. So students, you can see here, you can find out the value of this magnetic field, and it will be given by the vector. You can find out this by the vector law also. So you can see here dl cross r, it means we are coming from dl to r. So this is clockwise direction, and in clockwise direction, so dl cross r gives dl cross r. So you can see this one like j cross I. Okay, this is j cross I, and so this direction of this magnetic field is along minus k. You can see in this statement also, it is written here. Here you can see, imagine the moving from the first vector towards the second vector. If movement is anti-clockwise, the resultant is towards you, but if it is clockwise, so you can see in this diagram, this movement is clockwise, so it is away from you. Okay, if you take r cross dl, so it will be perpendicular to the plane of paper and towards you, but you can see this one is the clockwise, so it is perpendicular to the paper but away from you. So by this you can find out the direction of this magnetic field. Okay, this one is also given by the right hand rule. Okay, so we will use right hand rule for find the direction of the magnetic field. You can see here right hand screw rule, we can use this rule. Okay, or you can use similarly the simple vector rule for like I cross j. If this one is I cross j, this will give k, and for j cross I it is minus k. So you can use this rule simply, or you can use this right hand screw rule. By both the rules you can find out the direction of the dB. Okay, direction of magnetic field, these directions. So this cross represents the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of paper and inward. It means away from your eyes. It means it is entering in the screen. Okay, and this one is the symbol for this statement. So student, I hope you understand that this topic that is known as Biot-Savart law and the one numerical problem which we have discussed in this session. Okay, students, try to solve at least 5 to 10 questions based on this equation, that is 4.11. by doing more practice you will get more and more deep knowledge about the topic. So exercise is very important for understanding of a concept. So students, keep practicing, keep studies. ठीक है, for any doubt we can discuss. Thank you for watching.